Rambo, Last Blood. Is it going to be the last one? I have no idea because I thought the last one was supposed to be the last one. Talk about that kind of title, by the way. Rambo, Last Blood. It seems like he's finally keeping in like some kind of chronological way of naming the titles. It started out with First Blood, which made sense. Rambo First Blood Part 2. And then Rambo 3, and then the fourth one was called Rambo, which I guess that was the point because it'd been many years since the last one, and they just kind of wanted to have a way to reintroduce it to new fans. But now we have Rambo Last Blood. My biggest disappointment with this movie, he doesn't wear the red bandana once. That sucks. Come on, Stallone. But I get that he was trying to differentiate this one from the others and portray a much older Rambo. He's also a much more talkative Rambo. I've never seen so many lines come out of his mouth in the past. He has some connections with other characters in this movie. I guess this would be a ranch, not a farm. And then he has two people staying with him. One of them is someone he thinks of as a daughter who will be going to college soon. But you know, things happen, and then eventually Rambo has to take on the entire Mexican cartel. Which leads to a pretty fantastic ending. I don't really know what you expect with these Rambo movies at this point. This is the fifth one. The first one was by far the most serious of all of them. It had a really good story, a lot of historical background anyway, but a lot of background for the character that made him in the present very interesting. But then we had a bunch of movies come out after that were meant to be just giant explosive action fests. I've seen the second and third one, and I'm not too into those movies. As far as being dumb 80s action movies, they're great. They're fun popcorn entertainment, but they don't really add any value to the character or the story. With the fifth one, he's trying to live a more simple life, but they do kind of allude to other things that he has done, even since the last movie in 2008. And this one, when he has to go fight the Mexican cartel, it's pretty awesome. Some of the stuff that Stallone deals with in this movie, I don't know if it's dealt with in the best way, and it does do a lot of stuff that you've seen in other action movies that typically really annoys me. It annoys me here too, but I don't know what it is, but there was something about some of the cliches here that didn't feel too forced, at least. It felt like there was a natural reason for certain things to happen. I felt that we at least met the main characters enough to understand why they did certain things and why they may have done these cliches again. But this movie also does a couple other things that I just felt really weird about. And there are some characters that I don't feel got enough time on the screen in general. This also does have some of the biggest ridiculous moments, I think, in the entire Rambo series, as far as setup goes, because, for instance, the entire cartel is surrounding Rambo at this one scene, and he is surrounded, his weapons are taken, he's done for, but then they decide to keep him alive anyway. Why? Just because it's going to be more torture to him. I feel like this never makes sense in any movies, and putting yourself in this kind of position is only going to lead to people being taken out of the movie, and it did here. I thought it was ridiculous. But at the same time, it is a cool scene because you got Stallone, who is probably like 70 years old at this point, being surrounded by a bunch of young action guys, and he's just playing it straight like he's not scared of nothing. And that's Rambo. That is the character of Rambo right there. And I love that. He also digs a bunch of tunnels at his home on the ranch. He digs tunnels, and the reason? He just likes to dig tunnels. The girl who lives there, she wants her friends to come over, or Rambo invites them over, and he says, hey, show them the tunnels. They keep talking about these tunnels, they keep showing the tunnels, and I'm like, geez, are there tunnels in this movie because we want to have the final action climax to take place in the tunnels? And, well, go see the movie for yourself. What do you think happens? But at the same time, while that's a completely contrived reason for having a set piece for a movie, the set piece pays off. It's a great scene. That is all this finale is Rambo taking down a bunch of guys in this tunnel, and the movie simply ends with him going to the deck and going on a rocking chair. The movie ends with this gigantic battle, and that's it. There's nothing else after the movie. They don't have to do any dumb final conversations or goodbye scenes or anything like that. Even though it doesn't make sense because, like, the journalist character, she just kind of disappears, doesn't come back. But like I said, at the same time, all I want to do is see Sylvester Stallone playing Rambo taking down bad guys. And that's what you get for a majority of the movie. But what I really like too is that it really kind of goes back to what the first movie did, where it's all about setting up traps and being smarter than the enemy. That's what he does here. And I also like all the interesting kills. This does have some really obnoxious, gory moments that, even for me, it was pretty hard to watch some of them. But man, it's entertaining. It's got one of the craziest final kills I've ever seen out of a series that's meant to be semi-realistic. I think I like this much more than First Blood Part 2 and Rambo 3. It's not a huge step up in the franchise, and honestly, I don't know if it's the best way to end the series. But really, this isn't a series that I felt needed to be continued past First Blood. They just turned Rambo into an action star, which is fine because I like seeing Sylvester Stallone take people down, but it really has taken away from the seriousness of the first movie. If he makes another one, as long as it keeps in these fantastic kills and action scenes and stuff blowing up real good, I guess that's all that matters. So as far as entertaining levels go, this is a 3 out of 5 star movie. I don't know if it's necessarily one you should see in theaters. I think it works well as being one of those movies that's on Netflix. You watch it late at night with some friends. So what'd you think of Rambo Last Blood? Do you think it's the worst one in the franchise? Or do you think it was great and that they should continue it even longer, even given Stallone's age?
Thanks to all my Patreon supporters. For only $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. Ask me to review anything I haven't already. There's also other perks like blogs, exclusive videos, and early access. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thanks so much for watching this video.